Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be explaining about the differences between the three print statements that we'll be covering in this OP course. The three kinds of print statements that we'll be widely using in this course are print, println and printf. There are some differences between these print statements. I'll explain the differences right now. The first kind of print statement is system.out.print, and what it does, it prints the parameters as a string. If you pass in a parameter that is not a string, if you pass in a value that is not a string, it converts it into a string and outputs it or prints it. That's what it prints. It in a sense, it shows the statement in the console. That is what a print does. It writes it into the output folder or console. So I'm gonna go ahead and type something. Hey bro. Next thing, it'll print it. And let me change the thing to print ln. It'll print the same thing, right? You have noticed how I've changed the statement from print to print ln, but it doesn't make any visible difference here, right? Well, it does make a difference if you use print ln. What print ln does is it prints a statement and also does something else that print doesn't do. Print statement just prints the string. But println, what it does is it prints the string and then it takes the cursor to the next line. That's what it does. To make it much more visible to you guys, I need to print another statement. For example, I'm removing print ln. I'm just typing print. I'll put in another statement. Just copy paste, and I'll say cool, cool bro. So I'll print it. So you can see that the statement gets printed here, and after hey bro, it's right after hey bro, it's cool bro. It doesn't take the cursor to the next line. The cursor is the mouse pointing thing, right? So it doesn't. If you want it to be in the next line, you need to use print ln. Okay. So now you get the difference between print and println. Print statement just prints the string. Println does one additional step that print statement doesn't do. Println takes the cursor to the next line, so the next statement will be printed on the next line, not right after the not right after the string which is printed, like here. It doesn't do like this. Like there is no spacing or line gap between these. It doesn't print it like that. It it makes the cursor go to the next line, so it prints the next statement gets printed in the next line. That's the difference between print and println. To make it much more clear to you guys, I will use a println statement here. See, as you can see here, it takes it to the next line. So the next statement is printed in the next line. You don't need to have this println for it to go to next line. What println does is it takes the cursor to next line. That's it. So you have understood the difference between print and println. Now what is the difference between println and printf? That's something we'll be doing right now. Printf. So I'll just be printing it for you guys to see. It prints exactly as it is. Again, the change is not visible at first sight, but printf statement does something that print and println cannot do. It can take an argument list. While in the print and println statement, the characters, the parameter is just one big string. In printf, there can be multiple parameters. In the first parameter, you will see the string, which may contain format specifiers, and in the next set of arguments you will see an argument list. Let me explain this to you. So what printf stands for is print formatter. So it prints output in a formatted way. For example, if I want to print out cool bro, and if I want to give if I want to say it's, let's say it's 2 p.m. But what I want is like, suppose I have no idea about this value and I need an integer value to be printed here. What do? Percentage d. Now here let me be clear what percentage d is. Percentage d stands for the format specifier of integers. Now I can have another thing here. The format specifier accepts an integer. You can see this percentage d, it accepts this integer. It takes in this integer and inputs it into the string and prints the string as a whole. That's what print formatted does. See, you can see that the whole string is printed and the string takes in an integer value at this point. At this exact point it takes an integer value. Now if I want multiple things to be printed, like if I want another statement, why not go out at percentage d pm. So now there are two percentage d. Percentage d is a format specifier. There can be different types of format specifier. For strings it's percentage s. For floating numbers it is percentage f. There are different kinds of format specifiers. For integers we are using percentage d. As there are two format specifiers, we need to give two values here, two integer values here. The value should be matching the format specifier. Each value has its corresponding format specifier. In this case, because 2 is an integer, it has a format specifier percentage d, which corresponds to an integer format specifier. Now if I print the statement, it's 2 p.m., why not go out at 5 p.m.? So your printf statement doesn't take the cursor to the next line, so the next statement won't be in the next line. To make this clear to you, I'll just print out another statement. See, you can see it's printed right after that. There's a space here, that's why you can see the space here too. So it's printed right after that. But if you want, you can always bring the cursor to the next line by bringing in another format specifier. The format specifier is /n. It takes the cursor to the next line. See, it gets printed in the next line by adding a /n. It's also a format specifier, a line break format specifier. That's what I call it. So you get what's the difference. What are the differences between print, println, and printf? Print and println does the same thing. The only difference between print and println is that println takes the cursor to the next line. And the difference between println and printf is that printf takes in an argument list corresponding to the number of format specifiers, the percentage d, percentage d for integers, percentage s for strings, corresponding to the number of format specifiers. It takes an argument list. This I'll call it an argument list. the value that comes after the formatted string. The string, when it gets printed, all the values which are given in the argument list will be inserted or inputted into the string and printed as a whole string. That's what happens. So you understand what's the differences between all these print statements now. So that's it. Thank you for listening. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe.